Ching. All right, y'all. Welcome to another edition of Sanus Vision Art and Life. My name is Adewale Booker Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. Today's guest, he's one of the individuals that's been there since the beginning. I first met him at WonderCon, I believe 2012 or something like that. Can't even remember. It's been so long. He's bought posters, comic books. God knows how many posters he's bought. Ken Robinson, welcome to the show. How you doing, brother?
Hey, doing well. How are you doing, Adewale?
Man, it is great to see you. It's been a long 2020 that somehow stretched itself into 2021. So, how things been with you, man?
Been all right. Yeah, just been working from home, just trying to hang in there, avoid everybody. It's been an exciting time.
Got a mask.
It's like one of those video games. You got to avoid everybody.
Got to avoid everybody. Now, the thing about you is you're a tech guy, so this kind of falls into your advantage for you, right? Right? Working from home?
Yeah, it's been working out pretty nicely for me. So I work for a gaming company, so I've been able to just keep my laptop at home, get some nice webcam, get some mic set up, and just be able to stay at home, stay safe.
Now, for our audience, for our audience, I like to do something I call Fan Day once a month, and Ken is he's a big time fan. I mean, this guy's bought, like I said, so many posters. I think I met you maybe in 2012 or 2013. I can't even remember, man. It's been a long time far back.
Something like that. It's been a while.
And we just struck up a fan friendship, and next thing you know, I see you every year. So you're into the superhero world just like me, and we're both nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
Start with the first question. We're both nerds. Who is your favorite superhero, past and present?
Well, past. I'm a '90s kid, so
okay.
I think a lot of us, right. Batman was really there for me in the early '90s. Like, right. We had the animated show, which is just fantastic.
Right.
The Tim Burton movies were coming out. Also had the Adam West show was being shown on reruns all the time.
Right.
So my dad was a big fan of that, so we'd watch all of that. So just with superheroes was like synonymous with Batman. It was just like all types of superheroes, like Batman could do it.
Right. So you would say, I'm guessing if you like Batman the '90s, you probably watched the Batman animated series just like me. Batman still gets the crown. So of course I know you watch the Christian Bale series, the one that's coming with, I think, Robert Pattinson, I believe. Is that his name? Pattinson?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Right. So
the guy from Twilight and Lighthouse, and yeah.
How do you feel about, because Batman's your favorite superhero, how do you feel about, Christian Bale did a great job. It's going to be hard to even touch that. How do you feel about Robert Pattinson taking the role, and how you feel he's going to do?
I think he's going to do pretty well. I think they've been really good at casting Batman in the past. They really haven't missed. Even like George Clooney, like, he did a pretty decent job. So I think Robert Pattinson, his Batman, I think will be pretty good. I'm really excited for his Bruce Wayne. I think his Bruce Wayne is going to be super interesting.
The Bruce Wayne is what's going to be interesting to you. Now let's dive into this a little bit. Why is Batman your favorite superhero? What are the things that he does? What makes him that dude, man?
A lot of it, yeah, I already said, a lot of it's just the variety. It's like he could be lighthearted and kind of jokey. He could be like super serious and dark. He could be like kind of intense. He could be a loner. He could build up like a big bat family and have like a dozen characters all around him. So just like the versatility. There's a Batman story for just every type of person.
That is true. So we're talking about Robin, Batwoman, Batgirl, Batwing. God, I can keep going, man. And then of course
you go deep to like spoiler and just keep going.
I can keep going. The villains too. I mean, Batman, and I think what I really like about Batman is that he's human. He's just because he can die at any time. It's not like he's immortal or anything like that. And it's funny to hear people don't understand that. Well, he's not a superhero. For me, a superhero isn't a person who has superpowers. A superhero is a person who can do super type things, and Batman can do a lot of super type things.
Yeah, doing like superhuman feats, doing feats of heroism.
Right.
Being there for people when they're needed. That's all superheroing is. It's not about like what you can do with your inherent powers, because like Batman can replicate a lot of stuff. He can fly into space. He can build a base on the moon. He can console an orphan who's lost their parents. Right. He got that full range of stuff he can do. Yeah, that's what superheroing is. And
I think also his background too serves like he can relate to a lot of people. Of course, the parents get shot in the crazy crime scene on the street. It's just, I don't know. I've got the Batman Christian Bale collection. To me, as far as I'm concerned, Christian Bale's the first Batman, and then Michael Keaton is the number 2. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, but we're going to move on to the next question, but I've never seen a superhero so globally loved like that dude.
Yes. Yeah, that's something also about Batman. Is that he's recognizable, like no matter where you go. If you travel, you go to Europe, you go to Asia, there's going to be Batman references. I was watching a Korean drama recently, Signal, where it's about like detectives trying to solve a crime.
Right.
And one of the detectives on their desk, they were inspired by a picture of Batman. And they look at that picture and they'd be like, I'm going to be a good detective like Batman. I'm going to catch the bad guys.
I mean, the dude is a detective. That's what makes him, I think that's what makes him great. It's not that he's got gadgets, but he's an intellectual. He thinks. And sometimes he's even a scientist sometimes too. That's what's cool about him. He's even a scientist. So
he's chemist, he can be archaeologist, you do any type of science, he can do that. He just plugs stuff into his lab and
I mean, it's incredible what he is. I mean, he's just an amazing character. Now, we talked about your favorite superhero. We know it's Batman, but what is your favorite superhero movie and animated movie? Because those are two different categories right there.
They are. Live action superhero movie, I still think it's Civil War.
Okay.
It's just got such a wide range of heroes in it. It's got the introduction of Black Panther.
Okay.
You've got like Captain America and Iron Man like at odds with each other. You got some really cool fight scenes. You got Ant-Man getting big, being Giant Man. It's just got everything I want.
That was awesome.
Animated, I really got to go with Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I've never seen that one.
I've never seen that.
It's more recent, and it's the jokey Teen Titans cartoon. So it's aimed at kids and for families.
Right.
And just the joke writing in there is just super strong. They've got jokes about like DC movies. They make fun of like Batman, Superman.
Oh my god!
They make fun of just sequels. They make fun of how many people have movies. It's just such a good time. They travel back in time and like mess with all the superhero origins.
Oh my god! So they take shots. Are they taking shots at their own characters? Is that basically what they're doing?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
They're doing a lot of that. Yes.
You know,
it's got a Stan Lee cameo in it. It's a DC movie.
That's
got
crazy.
Stan Lee in it.
That is crazy. Now you said Civil War. As always, we like to delve into you talked about the different array of characters about Civil War because we've got Captain America, the first one, then you got Winter Soldier, and then you got Civil War. You chose Civil War, and you could have chosen any of the other movies that are in the Marvel universe. What are you I guess would Captain America be your biggest Marvel? Are you a big Captain America fan, or is that the best? Is that your best character, your favorite character in the Marvel universe, or why did you choose Civil War?
It's close. Like, I think the individual characters, like Captain America is a very strong character. I like most of his movies. I don't really care for the first one. A lot of people, I don't know, it kind of loses me a little bit. But like Captain America 2 is great. He's great in Avengers. He's great in Civil War.
Right.
But just like the movies that have more like the character interactions is kind of what I'm looking for.
Right.
So getting a lot of these people in the same place and seeing how they bounce off each other and how they like joke with each other or how they like snipe at each other, insult each other.
Right.
The powers they use against each other. How like on the fight at the airport, how they're like holding back. They're fighting, but they're still like trying to be friends. So it's like all that stuff, the interactions is really super interesting to me.
Wow, you know it's funny you say that because I think what's difficult for a lot of movies, and maybe that's why DC hasn't figured it out yet. How do you get a bunch of superheroes in one movie and make it good? Because you and I both watched Justice League. Man, I went to throw up watching Justice League. Oh my god, I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is horrible.
I remember seeing the trailer, and like the jokes they had in the trailer were just so basic. It's like Bruce Wayne jokes that he has money. It's if you Google DC jokes, that's the number one result. That's the first thing that comes up.
Are you serious?
They're not being clever.
Do you think it was rushed? Like, I felt like it was rushed. Like, they just like threw it together in 2 seconds.
It could be. Like, I think they had, from what I've heard, they've had like a vision. Like after Batman Superman's like the one that's like dark universe, and they wanted everything to be kind of gritty.
Right.
And then a lot of people didn't like that, and so I think they had to do like some quick rewrites. It's like some people panicked. They're like, "Oh, we got to get some humor in there. We got to lighten it up a little bit." And that wasn't to the creator's strengths.
Right.
Like, say what you will about Zack Snyder. His action directing can be very good. He's very good, like, visual director. Right. He's not a particularly funny guy.
No.
At least from his movies, from what he's seen from his writing. Like, that's kind of what they were thinking a little bit, bringing in some other people to rewrite it. But it was, as you said, last minute and just kind of rushed. Didn't fit.
Do you think he could have? Because I sometimes feel like he's a better writer than he is a director. Because I felt like, to be honest with you, if I had to do Justice League again, I would have given it to the Russo brothers. The guys who did Civil War.
That would have been a very different movie. That would have been
my god, can you imagine what Justice League would have been if they directed it? Oh, dude, it would have been something serious. It would have been fire. We would probably be drooling over it right now. You know what I mean? Because how do you have 7 great superheroes in one movie, but it sucks?
Yeah, like I mean, we watched it. I can't remember any character interaction beyond like the Flash lands on top of Wonder Woman and awkwardly gets up. It's like, what did they do with each other? How did they interact? Nothing, really.
Nothing. And I think, honestly, they chose the wrong characters. Because you probably remember if you're a 90s kid just like me. Remember Justice League Unlimited, the series, and then Justice League, of course, 3 seasons of that? Why didn't they take the characters from the cartoon and put them in the movie? I mean, how hard is that to do? You got the Hawk Girl, you got Green Lantern John Stewart, you got Flash, Superman, Batman, Martian Manhunter. I mean, it was not that hard. Do you think that DC has a tendency to be cheap? They're trying to nickel and dime everything.
I think so. DC, from reading like DC Comics, they have a very deep bench of characters. Like they have like their main pillars, and each of them has like a supporting cast. They have like all the Robins. Like you have Dick Grayson. He goes out and becomes Nightwing. He like leads the Titans and does all this stuff. Whenever you watch one of these Batman movies, like even the Nolan trilogy, he's like, he doesn't even become Robin.
No,
he's not anything. No. So whenever they kind of reboot, they always go, we got to go back to Batman, get starting out.
Right.
And they need to get away from that. They need to go more in depth. That's another thing. Going back to the Teen Titans Go to the movies,
right?
Is they reference like all sorts of obscure stuff. They reference the challenges of the unknown. Nobody knows the challenges of the unknown. they're making jokes about it in a kids movie.
Oh my god, man! I mean, what's keeping these guys
like Metamorphos in there and just like all these obscure characters?
Yeah, I remember Metamorpho. He wasn't. I think it was in season 2 of Justice League. No, it was season 3 of Justice League. You know, I don't understand. I just don't know what they're doing over there. But, you know, we're not going to let them ruin our show anyway. But, you know, now we talked about...
They don't even seem to get, like, Wonder Woman Flash right. It's like they can barely get Batman and Superman right.
Thank you.
It's like, how are they going to do Metamorpho correctly? I don't know. They don't know.
They need to... I think what they need to do is stop being afraid. And, like I said... Call the Russo dudes from Avengers and let them come do some work over there. Pay them some money.
Yeah. And they can call James Gunn. They got James Gunn over there doing Suicide Squad now.
Yeah.
That looks like it's going to work out. He's got a deep bench in there. You got Polka Dot Man.
Yep.
Who knows who Polka Dot Man is?
I mean,
he's in the movie.
He's in the movie. You know, I don't know if James Gunn did Logan. Did he do Logan?
He did the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was pretty good.
So
they just need to be more creative. I mean, it's really corny what they're doing. You have Green Lantern John Stewart there. You have Flash there. We haven't seen a Flash movie. We haven't seen a Hawk Girl movie. I mean, how many times can you make Batman and Superman? I mean, it's ridiculous.
As many as they want, apparently.
Man,
we got the Robert Pattinson one coming up, and they're still like, we hear rumors about bringing Michael Keaton back. It's like,
to do what?
Do another character. Try something else.
Oh my god! Like, dude, they just can't get out of their own way. Like, I'm not a big DC guy like that, so I don't even sweat it anymore because I've lost interest in their lack of planning has really turned me off. That's what's turned me off from them.
The general audience is keyed in on that too. Like, they don't go see these movies as often as they do.
No.
Like when the Nolan ones are coming out, because half the time they're not going to be any good.
No,
so
they're not.
If you can only see like 5 movies a year, you go see like 3 Marvel movies, a Star Wars, and something else. Yeah, it's like you're not going to see the DC.
No, because it's corny. It's real corny. Mm-hmm. Now, moving on, because this is, I love this. You've got a lot of...
We're pretty in-depth on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. This is a nerd show. We're going to talk about it. We can talk about it like that, man. Shoot. We ain't apologize for that. So, you know, you bought a lot of posters for me. And I mean a lot. Mm-hmm. So, what is your favorite poster you bought for me? Because I know that must have been a hard question. You're like, oh my God, I got to go back all the way.
I have them all set aside because I don't go back in the office anymore. So I used to have them like hanging in the office.
Right.
So since then, I brought everything back because I mean, I want to have it here. So I'm just kind of looking through the pile.
Right.
And yeah, the ones that still stand out. I really love your Young Justice poster.
Okay.
That one's for one that's really on model. It's like you can just take them off the poster, put them right in the show, and they fit right in. And as for like draw it in your more specific style, I really love your Wonder Woman, your Black Wonder Woman.
Right.
That one I had like in the office, like on top of it's right above my computer.
Yeah, you bought that huge
position like for a year or two. Yeah.
Yeah, you were the first. Actually, I believe I sold the first copy to you, which was really ironic.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, because I think it was a big one you bought, right? I think it was a big one. Was it a big or regular size one?
I think I got the regular size. I got it here.
Yeah.
I pulled it out.
Yep, that's the one. Yep, that's the one. I mean, you literally made that character popular because after you bought it, I mean, I have never since after that day not sold at least 5 copies of that at every show. It's just
Oh,
that
that's
one
great to
character.
hear.
I sell it out every show because, you know, my sleeves can only fit about 2 or 3 posters in there. So most of the time, once I run out of that 2, the rest I have to order it and ship it to people. It's just become something popular. And now it's like something people crave on t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. Because as you know, a lot of my stuff has changed. Now we're doing different lines of apparel. I mean, it's just gotten out of control. It's just unbelievably so much fun. So you got the Wonder Woman. Anybody else? Anybody else make the list?
Beyond, let's see. I really like the She-Hulk.
Okay, She-Hulk. All right,
She-Hulk's
yeah.
very good. I really like She-Hulk as a character, and you really capture the strength and then like the poise and the beauty and the intelligence. Just all of that's right in there.
Right. And I remember you told me something about you wanted me to work on Icon and Rocket. So I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I need to.
I ordered. You had a Rocket in the store. So
right. I did. I had the Rocket online, and then you.
Yeah. Once you get an Icon Rocket combo, I'll be all over that one.
Oh yeah, I got to work on that. I'm gonna work on that Icon. I got to get on that. I put that on the list actually. So y'all, this man has bought every type of poster I've got. Oh my God, he's got so many.
Especially with DC putting out new Milestone stuff.
Right.
Finally coming out. So they're doing an Icon and Rocket series. I think it starts in a couple months. I think it comes out.
Live action or
so hopefully they'll get in the comic form.
Whoa.
So it'll be in book.
I mean, I you know, it's funny. DC, do they even realize how much content they have that they haven't touched?
I don't like this Milestone stuff has been sitting for years and years. Like I know there was a lot with a lawsuit, but even before that, like they had these characters since like the early mid '90s, and a lot of them were just sitting doing nothing. Like they had the Static TV show, which is a big hit,
and
then they didn't really do anything with the other characters,
I mean, Static Shock was supposed to get a movie. I remember they were trying to have Jaden Smith, I believe, play it, and they as usual, DC found a way to ruin that. Oh my God, those guys, they're unbelievable.
Static movie. That's like a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer. It's not that hard. I mean, and then when they did Green Lantern, they chose the wrong one because Jon Stewart is the fan favorite. Oh my God, like dude.
That's another thing about DC fans. The more of them I listen to, the less of them like Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
he's always like consistently like near the end of like
his
favorite lanterns.
He's the worst Lantern because I choose Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Kilowog. Is it Lorna? Ariza? I mean, there's a whole bunch of Green Lanterns I'm choosing before him. He is corny. He's straight up corny.
They're still introducing new ones. They got like another like 3 or 4 new ones just in the last 5-6 years.
Oh my God!
And they're all been great. And then they keep bringing Al back. It's like we don't need Al.
We don't need Al. Nobody likes Al. Stop bringing the dude back. He's corny. He's really corny. So I know you're a comic book guy just like me, and you've read God knows how many. So what's the best comic book you've ever read?
This is another tough one. I had to narrow it down a little bit. I like the one that lasted the longest, where I could like love every single issue was. I don't know if you read this one, The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Nah, but I've read Squirrel Girl though.
This Marvel book. It was Ryan North wrote it. Erica Henderson did art for the first half. Derek Charm the second half. It's just really good, really funny, really wholesome. It's Squirrel Girl just like beating all of the baddest Marvel villains. Fights up Doctor Doom, Galactus, Kraven the Hunter. Just with like both the power of like hand-to-hand combat and also just like friendship and just like understanding and like getting a sense of what they want. Like fighting with Galactus. Like spoiler real quick, the way she beats Galactus is by finding another planet that's made out of acorns that has a whole bunch of energy, and Galactus live off of that for a couple years.
Oh my God! So she's like finding ways to just get him off the planet, pretty much.
Yeah, she's like, you keep coming to Earth and you keep not eating Earth. You must just want directions. You want us to find you another planet.
Oh my God!
Here you go. Here's a good one.
Yeah. So you just said Squirrel Girl. I've known Squirrel Girl, but I don't know her like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've only remember seeing her in I don't know if you know this show. It's called Avengers Shorts, where they got the new Captain America, of course, with Sam Wilson. You've got Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and she's on there.
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl's on there. You've probably seen.
I haven't watched any of those. I saw one at a convention where they showed an episode preview. It was not bad.
That was my first introduction to her. So I don't know her book like that, but I know of the character. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So are there any other books aside from that one that are a really great read that you've read ever?
One that really got me into reading comics. Like as a kid, I wasn't really into comics. I tried a couple times, but it was kind of the 90s, and they were getting really like adult oriented, and they didn't really want to cater to kids as much. But about like 5 or 6 years ago, I got like really into comics again, and it was Y the Last Man.
Okay.
That really pushed me over. And that's like an independent book with Brian K. Vaughan and Art Piaguera. I forget who else does art for that. And that one is just essentially takes place kind of real world, and it's all of the men in the world except for one guy die, and so it's just this one guy, and then all the women in the world, and they're trying to like build a new society, figure out what happened, why did this guy survive.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
No,
it's funny though.
that one was good. Yeah,
it's funny because I always feel like independent creations, not so much the corporate ones. Because if you notice how I'm saying it, independent creations versus corporate versus corporate creations always seems to be better because they have a better storyline. Because what I feel like is happening right now in terms of the whole industry is like repetitive stuff. So a guy like me has a great opportunity to just bust in there and just like create something completely new. I think that's why I'm having a lot of success even at the shows, because I'm creating something completely new. Like nobody's ever seen it before. Like, oh, this is interesting. Kind of like when we had that one guy. What's that one? I think it's Push or something like that. He had the purple costume or something like that. I can't remember his name. Oh my god, Is it Kick Ass or something like that?
Oh,
I can't.
Is that the right deal? Dressing up in costumes.
Yeah. You know, but random stuff that comes in and catches fire because people are sick of seeing the same stuff. So you know,
happened a little bit with like Walking Dead. That's based on a comic.
There you go. So
it's a new thing. It's independent.
There you go.
It's got a beginning, so you can, if you're interested, you don't have to go back to 1920 to read Batman #1 or whatever.
Nope.
Detective Comics 27.
Nope.
You can just start like Walking Dead #1, get to the end, and then you will have read the book and you will have done the whole thing.
I think these companies, like you were saying, they're lacking like creativity. Like they're taking the lazy way out. They're looking for the quick $300 million and that's it. They're not thinking about substance. And to me, if you work on substance, you're going to get the $300 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
that's where a lot of the breakout movies have been that. They've been unexpected success, like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
There you go.
Or you bring like Black Panther in, and it hasn't been exposed to mainstream U.S. culture before.
Right.
And they really resonate, and they become a big hit. And now everyone knows who they are.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like you said, Black Panther, that's another great example. It seemed like Black Panther was on the back burner for like God knows how many years. And people now, and I guess these companies not realizing how much of a hunger we as fans had for him. And so it's not an accident. It's not an accident that when the movie comes out, it makes $1.4 billion, which is the most of any superhero movie ever. Better than Iron Man, better than Captain America, better than all of them. So, and you know, they have to start giving us more, like you were saying, diversity. And that's one of the reasons why I had you on the show, because I know you're like me. You want to see progressive diversity, not the same nonsense we're looking at all the time. It gets corny, you know. So, you know, for y'all fans who ain't listening, Ken Robinson, yes, he's a white guy, but he loves the chocolate life. Yes, he likes the black superheroes. He likes diversity. He's not trying to hang a bunch of white guys on his wall. Pretty much, that's how I'm going to put it. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, that's not what he's trying to do. He wants some diversity on his wall. You know, this guy, he's an awesome individual. So now, we've got down on the books that you like. What do you think of superhero culture, past and present?
God, I'm really liking most of superhero culture present.
Right.
Like just the amount of people who are just really getting into it and enjoying it and have some exposure to it. It's wonderful to see. Like you go to comic convention and there's like little kids that are there seeing their favorite characters and interacting with people dressed up and just having a great time.
Right.
A lot it's really good to see. Past, I mentioned earlier, like I wasn't really into comics as a kid.
Right.
Like I watched all the shows. I watched Batman, I watched Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, X-Men, but they couldn't convert me to reading the books. And it's just because, I mean, one, the culture wasn't there. Like you go into a comic shop, that's the only place you really get it. And they're not going to help you out.
Nope.
Like some of the shops now will, but like back then, if you don't know exactly what you want, you're not going to get it.
They got you hanging, man. You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you said Turtles. Now, are you talking about Turtles with Kevin Easterling? Right? That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep. You know, I met him at WonderCon. He signed my turtle.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, dude, it was the most awesome. I mean, he was like, because he got to see my, he came to my table, actually. His assistant. I was like,
wonderful.
Can I go get his autograph? Because she saw I had a table. She's like, oh, don't worry, sweetie. I'll bring him to you. I was like, what? You bring who to me? I was like, oh, crap. He talked to me for like 15 minutes, man. I mean, it was very encouraging.
Oh, that's so
he
cool.
gave me advice. I mean, and he saw my cactus. He was like, is this you? I said, yeah, man, I'm working on this. Like, you just keep going, kid. You got You got you a Brad Future. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? It was really cool. And I think the problem with a lot of superhero culture, let's say the past, it never brought everybody in. Like, it never brought everybody in that wanted to be a part of it. Like, for example, you don't like reading comic books. That's fine, but they got to figure out a way to get you in there. You like animation series, so they got to show animated stuff, right? What about if I don't like me, just like you, I was into comic books probably up until about 1998 when I went to college. I read a lot of comic books, and I've lost, I probably had 150 comic books. I've lost, I only have 17 left. So, I mean, for me, I lost interest in comic books because I felt like the stories were repetitive. And then you started getting animated series. You started getting X-Men, Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Turtles, Techno Man, Ronin Warriors, all these different awesome cartoons. And I was like, oh, I'm going to dump the comic books and start watching cartoons. And then it wasn't until recently.
It's a lot cheaper and better too, like high quality.
It's not like comic books aren't exactly. They used to be like $2. Now they're like $8. But it's not like it's a book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can go like Scholastic Book Fair or like Barnes and Noble or even like comic shops now and pick up like a trade paperback and get like a decent story.
Yeah.
But when you want to go pick up a single issue, they don't even stand up on their own. You have to buy a bag and a board. You have to buy extra stuff just so they don't destroy themselves.
I mean, it's
what kind of product is that?
It's an add-on, basically, and it didn't used to be that way because what it is like they're realizing they can't keep our attention. And if you want to keep our attention, make something cool. It's really that simple. Like you said, these corporations, which is what they are, they've gotten lazy. They just want to do the usual, give us the usual dues, and that's not going to work anymore. So I guess superhero culture is like, I like it because what I love about the conventions is that any person who has any ounce of talent can get him or her a table and showcase their talent. Now, if you think your talent is that good, people are going to come to your table and buy something. If your talent sucks, nobody's going to buy nothing. It's just, you can't be worried about.
It's very, the audience can tell.
The audience can tell. They're not going to give you, I'm not going to convince you to buy my posters. I felt like I never had to do that. I always felt like my talent was there and people would just come to my table because I was nervous my first show. But as I got better at table setup, which is really critical to drawing a consumer's eye, because you want to put, which is part of superhero culture. You gotta draw the eye of the consumer. Like, for example, what drew you to my table? Like, obviously, maybe my style, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Yeah, part of it was, your art style stood out. That's something, you've got a whole long line of artists just all in a row. Your art style's got to stand out. Someone has to be able to recognize it. No, needs to jump out. They need to be able to look at it and kind of get what you're about.
Right.
And I really saw your art style. I saw the energy that was going into it. I saw the characterization.
Right.
I think it was right after the time where I think I just graduated college or just gotten out of college. Right. And so I finally had money to spend at a convention. I wasn't just walking around looking at stuff. So I was finally able to get some stuff. And I'm pretty sure that year, you and a couple other people were really good at attracting people to your table just with your personalities.
Right.
Just with if you notice someone looking at your stuff, you go, hey, how's your con going?
Right.
Introduce yourself.
Right.
What characters do you like?
Right.
I've got a whole portfolio full of stuff you might like. Can you take a look?
You know, it's funny you say that because what I see that's wrong with a lot of artists that go to the conventions is they try to be salesmen and saleswomen instead of trying to interact with the people they're looking at. You know, people don't be a salesman, don't be a saleswoman. Interact with people, get to know what they like, who is their favorite superhero, and be genuine about it too. A lot of them try to be false. Like, if you don't buy anything, well, get out of my face. Well, just because you don't buy something from me this show, you might buy something from me next convention. But at least I got to meet
unless
somebody.
You've been rude. If you're rude to your guest in another show,
oh my God,
they're not going to go to your booth.
Oh my God, you got so many.
They're going to say that's the rude guy.
That's the rude dude.
I'm going to keep going.
I'm going to keep going. I mean, you got so many rude. And I've seen them, a lot of rude artists where they get all bitter because the person didn't buy from them. Or what they expect is this: if I talk to you for 5-10 minutes, you should buy something. You know what I'm saying?
That's the investment. That's car dealership stuff.
I gave you 5 minutes
of
my time.
I'm talking to you. I don't get paid unless you pay something.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
A lot of it's spreading the word, getting your name out there, building up the fan base over time. And when you were doing shows out here in California, I'd see you had WonderCon, Kamikaze.
Yep.
Just like that, getting me become a fan like the second time.
Right.
Every time I'd see you at a show, I'd stop by. I gotta see what's new. I gotta pick up the
and that's
cool
how and now you know what's great about being an artist now is you have so many platforms. Social media, for example, that's my greatest weapon right now. Like, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
I've got my TikTok, which is my number one weapon, which is just insane. I mean, nowadays we can put up a video. We're talking 75,000 views, 100,000 views, just like that. Just like that. That didn't used to happen before. Yeah, it's really a lot of artists. And guess who gave me that advice?
That's more views than there are issues sold of every comic book.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, man!
Like Batman and some X-Men can top that, but everything else, once you're at 100,000, you're beating out the comic books.
Exactly. There you go.
Get more eyes on it. Yeah.
And you know who gave me the advice on that was the guy who created Deadpool. Oh, this man's name keeps passing me. Yes, I met him at Las Vegas Comic Con. I think it was in 2018, and I mean, like once again, another big time guy giving me his time. He gave me 20 minutes of action of talking. He gave me advice. He said, abuse social media. That's literally what he said. I mean, be on every single one of them. I mean, he said he wishes he was as young as I was, and he wishes he could be doing what we had the opportunity to do now, because I think what's wrong with a lot of artists, which is part of superhero culture, they don't take advantage of the tools that are around them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They don't advertise. They don't have a website. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they just trying to lazy their way through success, and you really can't do that. So, you know, that's part of superhero culture. Now, for me, what is your favorite comic expo and why? Because you go to all these different expos, but which one's your favorite?
Yeah, I go to a lot of the California ones. I go to San Diego Comic-Con, the big one.
Okay.
I still think WonderCon Anaheim is still my favorite. It's got kind of the balance between like having a lot of the cool stuff of like San Diego, having a lot of good artists in San Diego, but not being nearly as crowded or overpacked.
Oh my God.
A lot less pressure to like, I got to go over here now and I got to fight through the crowd.
Right.
I've got 30 minutes to get the other side. I can't make it. You can kind of relax in Anaheim at WonderCon. You can kind of stroll around. You can take your time. If you need to get to a panel, you can get there in 5 minutes. It's easy.
Right.
So that's got that really good balance between, and also they let smaller artists in still.
Yes.
Like Comic-Con, everyone's locked down.
Yes.
Like the same people come back year after year because they're the artists who display there, and a lot of them are great. But it's really hard to find new stuff in San Diego. Yep. Whereas like Anaheim, you can see new stuff popping up all the time.
I would be the one. I've applied for Comic-Con for 8 years in a row, and I've got 8 straight no's. So you know what I said?
they don't have any room.
Yeah, they make excuses, and I just said to myself, these guys, I ain't got time for this no more. I tell you what I'll do. I'll get famous, and then you'll invite me, and I'll tell you no too. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you know,
yeah, because they do special invitations.
They'll beg me to come there, and I'll say no. I'll say no for 8 years too. 8 years in a row. I say nah, I ain't got time.
It's something. If they wanted to change, they could. They just make Artist Alley a little bigger.
Yeah, they
can get another 50, 100 people in there.
There you go.
They don't want to do that because that takes more space away from Marvel and from DC and from Xbox or whatever else they have displaying in there.
That isn't art. Stuff that isn't art. I mean,
stuff that's not comics.
That's not comics. Like, I know a lot of artists that go to it, and I've asked them and said, how are these people getting in here? They said, honestly, it's somebody they know. It's not that they're good. It's just somebody they know. So, you know, I can't imagine how you can see a talent like mine and tell me no. That doesn't even make any sense. But that's okay. I like being rejected because it makes me more hungry. So like I said, I'm going to get famous, and then you guys going to ask me, and then I'm going to say no. So, you know, I'm looking forward to my first no. I'm looking forward to me telling them no for the first time. I'm like, hey guys, I don't have time. I'm going to Japan. I'm good. You know,
got too many shows booked.
I got too many shows going right now. I got time for you guys. You know, so you've been there since the beginning, and now we're going to talk about my last question. You've seen these characters from the beginning, y'all, and y'all, I'm talking about Carjacked vs. Assassins. Ken's seen it from the beginning. He's got the first version poster to the last, most recent. What are you expecting from this first Carjacked vs. Assassins comic book? Because it's almost there, man. I got one more page to go.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, as you said, I've been seeing a lot of the designs. I've been seeing them evolve over time. I'm really excited to see the whole team interacting.
Right.
Just seeing, like that's something about the shows you watch, like the X-Men and the Turtles. That each of them, they have their own personalities, but when they interact with each other, they have like their combo moves, and they have their banter, and they have a lot of like back and forth. And so that's a lot of what I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the Carjacks just in action.
Right. You know, it's funny.
Just as a team, just functioning and interacting.
It's funny you say that because I remember when I first started, I couldn't get people to even pay 2 seconds to them of attention to them at the art shows. And I used to tell you that at the shows. And
it's hard enough to get just them to see your versions of like the DC Marvel characters
when you're starting out.
There you go. Much less original characters.
There you go.
Once you build it up and once it hits.
Yeah. And it's funny, ironically, you said that. And ironically enough, as it went, which has been a long, probably 10 years or something, the last 3 art shows, my characters took #1 in sales. Literally. They literally just was like, it was just like after so many years of building, they finally saw recognition. They finally saw, just the light, I guess. And that's what led to me like, you know what? I think WonderCon 2019 might be my last art show because I don't need them anymore. Because now, what's happened to me is if I'm going to go to an art show, it's because I want to, not because I have to. Because now I have so much going on social media now. That's where a lot of my business is going.
You've got your fan base.
I got my fan base already. You guys know where I'm at. I don't have to. I go to the shows because I want to, not because I have to. You know what I'm saying? And that probably happened for me the last maybe 3 years of the comic expos. I really didn't have to go anymore. It was just I enjoy it so much that I kept on going. But in 2019, I was like, yeah, it's time to move on to something else. It's time for my platform to become a bigger platform. Because from there, all I've been doing really is through social media, through monthly emails, I'm able to really directly deal with my client base. Like these guys, my fans, I don't even call them clients, my fans. They know what's new. They can just go onto the website, SundaySufficientShop.com, and check out what's new. So for me, the last year has been awesome. It's like I had to change how I was thinking. Like, oh, I don't need, because a lot of guys probably not being able to go to comic expos, I'm guessing you probably know this, panicking. How am I going to get sales? And all this kind of stuff. Me, I didn't have that problem. I was selling through my Instagram, through my Facebook, on my website, and now TikTok is the new big thing. And I got to tell you, man, TikTok has been a real good boom to my deal. It's really, oh my God, dude. I mean,
sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah,
sounds ridiculous.
We're approaching, we just surpassed 500,000 views. And I just started using TikTok in February.
So that's fast.
Exactly. So at the pace we're going, we're probably going to get to 1 million by maybe July. And once we get to 1 million views, that's game over. So now, you can start drawing different eyes your way. Like, hey, we saw your stuff on TikTok, huh? How would you like to come to our office and talk about some things? I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, if I got time. You know what I mean? So, I don't want to lose my independence. That's one thing that's allowed about Carjack Assassins. I want to keep my independence. Now, is there like aside from the book itself, because you've known this, I'm gonna have, my dream is to have an animated series too. What would you like aside from the interaction with the characters? What would you like to see what would you like to see from it? The interaction, the action,
the cartoon.
I
want to hear what everybody sounds like.
That would be cool. Oh my God,
that's cool. A lot of things. Yeah, that's a lot of things when like Turtles or whenever there's new Batman or something like that. It's like you want to hear the voice, you want to hear how they're doing, how they read the lines, how they inject their personality into the character, how they create this blend, and kind of merge the two interpretations together to make a full character. I think from a live action show, that's exactly what I'd be looking for.
So you're saying we have to be very careful about choosing the right actors, basically. Don't choose a bunch of bums. Gotta choose the dudes that are gonna take care of business, basically.
You can choose some talented bums. As long as they got the talent, if they understand the character, if they can channel the character.
Delivery. So you're basically saying the delivery's gotta be on point, because if they mess up the delivery, then it's gonna mess up everything else. Man, this has been awesome.
Yeah, especially team book. Like if one of the two characters of the team doesn't work, what are you gonna do? You have to recast them or like write less for them.
Right.
If everything is cast correctly, then everything's gonna shine.
Man, I
did want to ask you one more thing.
Yes, sir.
But the last question. So you mentioned last couple of conventions you went to, you didn't have like the pressure to kind of sell yourself and expand. Right. How did that feel compared to the first couple?
Oh my God, relaxed? Dude! Because you remember when I first started, right? I used to be like, Ken, this is a mess, dude. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But I felt like the last 3 years I just got into a groove, because it's like anything else, man. You gotta start off like failing and then understand what you're not doing right, instead of saying, oh, my stuff isn't good or people don't like me. No, look into yourself and say, what can I do better? And I think that's what helped me. So all the money that I was making, everything you were buying for me, the posters and all that, I was taking the money and buying stuff for the table. Because most artists, they would take the money and go put it in their pocket. I was doing the complete opposite. I was investing in infrastructure. How can I make my table better? You started noticing, right? You started seeing easels. You started seeing banners.
Yeah,
right, Ken? You
yeah,
saw
banners for sure.
You saw,
that was a big change.
I mean,
multiple books.
Yeah, TV. Yeah. I had a TV at the table.
Yeah, you had your little mock-up of your little intro.
There you go. You know, I was just, it just felt so liberating. Like, it was just really, and also too, I think one of the biggest things that helped me was the fact that I had guys like you, consistent fans that came to see me all the time, who always encouraged me to just keep getting better and moving forward. And then also too, having my family there all the time, just with me, watching me grow, and just like, when you have good people around you and you're doing what you love, you're gonna move forward. And I didn't feel the pressure anymore. It just more felt like, ooh, I can't wait to see what we do. You know what I mean? It's not so much like, what are you gonna do? It's like, how much are you going to do? And so I didn't measure my success on money. I measured it on, like, man, I wonder how many people I'm gonna meet this weekend. What new fans am I gonna get? Is Ken gonna show up at the table? You know, all these different fans. You know, and I didn't have to email you or text you to tell you to come to the table. I already knew you were coming. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just like, that's what got good about. And I'll be honest with you. I think maybe next year I might, because in Texas here, I'm in Houston. There's a big comic convention deal over here. So everybody that knows me and telling me, hey, Adewale, you need to come here to check out this Houston one, man. I mean, if you were killing it in California, you'll murder it in Houston. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about it. I know this year for sure I'm not trying to go, because I feel like, let's let the pandemic completely clear out and let things get back to normal. So
yeah, I'm still suspicious of shows trying to have an in-person show this year.
So
it's like,
greedy.
What are you gonna do?
Dude, what is up with the greediness? They are so greedy. Like, why do you want to expose
even
us?
like back beforehand, like they called it comic crud for a reason. Like, you go to a show, you're gonna get a cold or a flu or something.
Exactly.
You're gonna catch something. And now they're just going back to normal? It's like,
no, it's not normal yet. I had actually had maybe 2 weeks ago. No, actually this week, LA Comic-Con emailed me.
Yeah, especially that one. That one's been really pushed into do in person.
I'm like, I am not showing up. That's not happening. I don't think so.
That show, end of last year, like in September, October, they were still advertising at the convention center, the in-person convention.
Insane.
And people were just ripping them apart on social media, and then they had to cancel.
It's insane.
They're ruthless.
They don't care. They just want to get money. It's kind of that's what makes me stay away from things that are too corporate. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it when something becomes too corporate, because then it just becomes about a bottom line and not the safety of people. Because can you imagine a bunch of people at WonderCon wearing no mask and COVID all over the place? Man, that's scary, dude. Woo. I'm not digging that, dude. Nah, I can't get down with that, man. You know. Are there any other questions you want to ask me? Because this is Fan Day, man.
I think that's good. I think that covers it.
I mean, it was awesome seeing you, first and foremost. It was great having you on the show, y'all. Yo, this man right here, like I said, he's been there since the beginning, man. He's got God knows how many posters. And Ken, you are awesome, man. You're an awesome individual, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you for being on the show. And let us know what's going on with your because you're a gamer, dude. So you create these games. So let people know what's going on with it and what website or whatever they can visit to check out whatever you might be working on.
Yeah, so I work for a gaming company. So if you got iPhone or Android, you probably got our solitaire game on there. Company's Mobilityware. So we've got a lot of the card games, a lot of the games that you think kind of come pre-installed on your device. A lot of them are made by us. So Jigsaw Puzzle, we got Spider Solitaire, Blackjack. We've got a bubble shooter coming out pretty soon. We've got just a whole wide variety of games that just like anybody can play.
So for you guys, because I know you deal with the technical aspect of what you do. What is your role in all this when you guys create these different games or whatever?
Yeah, so I'm a data analyst. So essentially, when we launch the games and they go out, we get to see like how much people are playing, how much they like the game.
Okay.
If people are leaving, we try to figure out why they're leaving. Maybe we're showing them too many in-game messages, or maybe the game's not polished enough, or it's crashing.
Okay.
I kind of look in and figure out what's going on and try to make the game experience as smooth for the player as possible.
So you're like the analytics department, basically. You really you're because so that basically means what you do is like it's like the backbone of you guys' business.
When you hear about all the data, all the Facebook apps and all those guys are collecting, right. I'm the guy looking at that and figuring out what's going on.
Figuring out what the problem is. Like, oh man, this is a problem right here. Oh my God, what is that for you every day dealing with that? What is that? How does that make? How do you deal with that? You know, you've been doing it for such a long time. When you first started to compare to where you are now in terms of dealing with it, how do you function dealing with it?
A lot more confident and like casual about it now. That's similar to what you were saying about tabling. Like when I first started out, it's like, oh, we've got millions of people playing our game. What's going on? What are they all doing? What do we need to look at? Right. And then now that I'm several years in, it's like, okay, I know exactly what I need to look at. I'm kind of, when we introduce a new feature or run an event, like in Jigsaw Puzzle, we just got, we actually got some Disney stuff coming up soon in Jigsaw Puzzle. Okay. So, yeah, if you find that one, it'll be a critical hit on the iTunes or Android store. You're going to start seeing some Disney puzzles in there.
Oh, that's going to be cool. So when people want to play these games that you guys work with, what app should they download or whatever to be able to play the games? Because you guys are, like you said, you guys are intertwined with all these different games. People don't know you guys are the ones who are making it. So what app should people download or whatever? Yeah,
so when you're looking at the App Store in the game, it usually has a company name. So Mobilityware or Critical Hit.
Okay.
Those are the two that are going to be the ones that I'm working on.
All right, so y'all heard it, man. Mobilityware or Critical Hit. Y'all heard it, y'all. Mobilityware or Critical Hit. Hey, all we do is promote around here, man. You know what I'm saying? So, man, hey, that's what we do here, man. So, look, Ken, it's been awesome having you on the show. It's been so awesome, dude. It's been so great. I got to bring you back on again because Fan Day is not only a one-time thing. It can be as many times as I want it to be. That's why it's my show. So, you know, hey, man, Ken, it's been great having you, man, brother. Keep staying safe. Keep doing big things at your job. And I'm so happy that you are in a company and working with individuals that appreciate what you bring to the table. That's really... Y'all can't imagine, but Ken's face, he's happy, man. I'm glad to see this brother doing good, because last time we talked, he was like, oh, I didn't want this job. Oh, hell no. These guys suck.
Hey, you don't say that in public.
No, I'm not going to say that in public. You know what I'm saying? But
no, it's true, though. When you find like the company that has the people in it that'll treat you well.
Yes.
And has kind of moved on from certain people that are like bringing some toxicity into the company. If they're able to get rid of some of those people.
Right.
It could be like, I don't want to say another home, but it could be a very comfortable place to work.
Well, if you're going to be somewhere for 8 hours, you need to be comfortable there, because I think that's what's wrong with a lot of companies. They don't understand the word culture is so important. How do you treat the individuals that work within your company? And they have to get away from this word called employee, because employee makes it seem as if you're the property of somebody. But the way companies should refer to people as is individuals that work with us. See how I said that? Individuals that work with us, not individuals that work for us. Work with us, because now you're saying that these individuals are assets to our company. And that's the problem with a lot of companies. They treat people like they're just cogs in a wheel, and that's all.
They're interchangeable.
Yeah, no, and people are not interchangeable. A lot of your individuals, like yourself and whoever and others, are critical factors, critical points in the success of a company. And so, for me, I've worked in retail, I've worked wherever, and the one thing I've learned about a lot of companies is I don't want to work with a company that doesn't treat its individuals good. I've completely gotten my mind away from that word employee. Like, I've completely taken my brain away from that word. Like, people are not employees. People are individuals that work with me to get somewhere. Even me, as you know, I came to Texas for many reasons, but one of the other reasons I came here was because it's a better place to establish a storefront one day. And so when I have people in my store, I'm not going to call them employees. Although that's a technical name, I rather would say they're individuals that work with me. Because if they're invested in the success of my company, then the company is going to be successful. If I'm invested in their growth, they're going to be successful. They indirectly will make my company be better. But if you just treat people like, hey, you work here, you work at that station, and you work here, and if you get on my nerves, I'm going to fire you. You know, that's not gonna do it, man.
Yeah,
so, you know,
if you're invested in the individual, like if they're having a good time, if you're helping them have a good time, if you're helping them grow and learn, they're just going to be happier working with you, and they're going to be able to do more for you.
They're going to want to do more
and have a better time doing it. Yeah, they're going to take the time.
Take the time. A lot of companies, what they don't do, and this is something very simple, something like you call it like favorite Fridays or party Fridays, where every Friday you have a pizza party or something. Do something like that to uplift the morale of the people you work with, not employees. But when you have that going, your individuals are always going to look forward to coming there, because they know, hey, every Friday, man, we're gonna have this and that, or once a month have a bowling game, go to a bowling alley, and you know, just bring everybody together, camaraderie, and just and be genuine about it too. That's what I think is missing from a lot of companies. They're not genuine in the way they treat the people that they work with. Not for
especially the larger ones, like you said, work in retail. So you don't get that ever.
Oh my God. I remember quitting my job. I quit my job last year too. I was saying in my first podcast, Training Day. And I said, I just walked in, man, and quit my job. I put in my 2 week notice, said, I'm done. Nah, if I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it with just my art. And sure enough, the universe and its blessings has blessed me, man, to be able to just live off my art. Like finally, after all these years, we're talking about 15 years. Yeah, 15 years of work, man, of just grinding and grinding and grinding. Finally, now the online store is picking up. We've got recognition on social media. I've got you on my podcast. I would have never thought about a podcast like 5 years ago, man. Are you kidding me? So we've come a long way, man. And so all I can hope is that companies realize that people are individuals that are assets to what they're gonna accomplish, not cogs in a wheel. And hey, turn right, okay, sir. Turn left, okay, sir. No, that kind of stuff. No. So Ken, thank you so much for being on the show. Like I said, you are awesome. We're gonna have you back on again. And keep doing big things.
Anytime.
Yeah, man. And do you guys have a website, or is that just the app is the only thing they can use to get to the games?
Yeah, you have the company website. It's just mobilityware.com.
All right, y'all heard it. Say it again, Ken. Let them hear it again. Say that again.
mobilityware.com.
And that ends the show, y'all. So, Ken, thank you for being on. Stay safe, buddy. All right?
Thanks. You too.
All right,
Take
buddy.
care.
Peace. All right, y'all. And that concludes our show. Thanks for listening. This podcast is produced, written, and directed by Adewale Booker Jr. I want to thank our guest, Ken Robinson. Please check out our website at sciencefictionshop.com, and please subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen. That's Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Deza. And you can also follow us on our social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. And as always, continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.